Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you just after what's been a very good and important win for Arsenal here at the Emirates against Brentford. 2-1 it's finished, a little bit closer than maybe it should have been, or certainly than it should have been, because Arsenal utterly dominant throughout. Brentford getting a goal in the closing seconds of injury time to make it appear a little bit closer than it was, but this was, make no mistake about it, a very, very dominant win for Arsenal. Emile Smith-Rowe, for me, the star of the show, is right in front of me at the moment, actually just doing his media duties on the pitch. Stepped up just when Arsenal needed him, just after half-time. The first half, utterly dominant Arsenal for the first half. 16 shots, it was 9 corners, I think, 78% possession. I think the 16 shots they had in that first half was the most they've had in a league game in 45 minutes since, I think it's October 2017, something like that, when Arsene Wenger was in charge against Everton. Really, really dominant, but they couldn't find a way through. And after what happened here against Burnley last time out, the longer that went on, the more nervous you began to feel. But Emile Smith-Rowe, 3 minutes into the second half, it was like he just thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this all by myself here. After watching the first half, everyone else struggle in front of the goal, picked the ball out wide left over here, charging towards the North Bank. Lacazette picked him out. Still had probably 40 yards from goal, 50 yards from goal, out on the left, drove in towards the box, beat a couple of Brentford players and bent a lovely finish into the far corner. 10th goal of the season for Smith-Rowe, is back in the side, obviously, for the suspended Gabriel Martinelli, and it just calmed all the nerves at the perfect time for that, for Arsenal at that point. They went on to get second. Bukayo Saka, his 7th goal of the season, brilliant finish from him. Arsenal breaking away, Partey finding Saka. Wonderful finish from Saka. If you haven't seen it yet, you've got to go and check it out. Thumped it into the far corner. It was a great example of how much he's improved in front of goal. And it was kind of game, set and match for Arsenal, and they should have won by more. Absolutely should have won by more. Again, this is the issue for Arsenal now. Are they ruthless? Do they have that clinical edge in front of goal to get them over the line in the chase for the top 4? That remains to be seen. We've got 15 games to go now. And whether it ends up costing Arsenal, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, it's all about the 3 points, and they got those 3 points. Like I said, I totally forgot who Arsenal playing for a minute, so I'm just watching here. I've got the press conference on down here. I'm just waiting for Mikel Arteta to arrive, and I thought he was going to. Then it kind of lost my attention. But Brentford did get that goal back through Odegaard right at the end. But like I said, no more than a consolation for Arsenal. We're going to have a quick look at the stats now to see what it actually ended up on for the teams. It was 24 shots for Arsenal. It's only 8 in the second half after those 16 in the first half. 6 shots for Brentford. Arsenal possession-wise 67%, so it dropped a little bit, unsurprisingly, in that second half for them. They're so dominant in the first half. Brentford did begin to, I don't want to say threaten, because they never looked like they were going to score until that goal right at the end, but they did begin to put on a little bit of pressure when it was 1-0 with about 20 minutes to go, and you started to think, oh no, but Saka's goal really sort of killed them off. And once again, not for the first time this season, it's all about the Hale boys, isn't it, for Arsenal? Just when you need them to step up, they do exactly that. Smith-Rowe with a first, Saka with a second, and when others maybe struggling in front of goal, Lacazette again, like at Wolves, he couldn't quite get that finish that he needed. Didn't have too many great chances at Lacazette, but when he did have an opportunity, he scuffed a shot wide in the first half, and maybe should have played in Saka and Smith-Rowe, who was over on the right-hand side. And when those sort of players are struggling, you need other players to step up, and not for the first time this season, the 2 youngsters from Hale have done that, exactly that, and given Arsenal the win that they really, really needed. Only 1 point behind Man United now. They play at Leeds tomorrow, but Arsenal will have 2 games in hand. West Ham drawing at home to Newcastle in the lunchtime kick-off today, so they drop points in the race for the top 4. Tottenham will be kicking off in about 15 minutes time or something away at Manchester City. You would hope that Man City is certainly going to take points off them. So this has again been a good weekend for Arsenal, no matter what happens at Old Trafford yesterday. 15 games to go now in the Premier League, and the top 4, the battle for the top 4, that last Champions League spot, potentially even third, to be honest, because Chelsea aren't absolutely out of the picture yet, is very much in Arsenal's grasp. It's there for the taking. Can they go on and achieve it? Fingers crossed they can. Right, let's go through some player ratings, shall we, today. I thought there's a lot of good performances, and like I said, I didn't kill the game off, but there was a lot of good performances on show. Aaron Ramsdale, here comes Mikel Arteta now. He's just walking out, so I've got a bit of time before the press conference starts, which is good. Aaron Ramsdale and Goal was really disappointed to concede that goal in the very last few seconds. Robbing him of what would have been a 12th clean sheet of the season for him. So annoyingly robbing me of some very important fantasy league points as well, because I've got Ben White in my team. But Ramsdale I thought played pretty well. He came crosses when he needed to. didn't have too many saves to make, to be honest. So I'm going to give Ramsdale a 6. Cedric Suarez, I thought, had a really good game again. Tommy Asu was back, but only on the bench, wasn't needed. Suarez, just like he was at Wolves, I thought played really, really well, both defensively and in attack. So he gets a 8 for me. Ben White and Gabriel, I'm going to give them both 7. Very comfortable day's work for them. Weren't caused any real problems by the Brentford forwards. They, like Ramsdale, will be absolutely fuming. They let that goal in injury time from a scrambled free kick. So they get 7 for me. Kieran Tierney, I'm going to give a 7 as well. So Cedric, I thought, was the star of that defence. Midfield, solid performance from both Xhaka and Partey. They could play very high up the pitch here because Brentford were just camped in around their own penalty area. There's no real pressure on Partey or Xhaka defensively, so they could play high up the pitch, kind of lead the press almost. And as Arsenal were camped in the Brentford penalty area, Xhaka did what he always does, really moved the ball around. Thomas Partey got himself an assist for Bukayo Saka. So 2 decent performances from the 2 central midfielders. I'm going to give them both a 7. Bukayo Saka, I thought, played well. Him and Cedric in the first half combined very well down the right hand side. I mean, it was a brilliant finish from Saka for the second goal. Really, really superb. I mean, I think last season you kind of looked at Saka and thought, finishing wise, that's the worst part of his game, but he's certainly come on a lot this season, I think. Saka, and that's 7 for the season, I said earlier on this video. So I'm going to give Saka an 8 for me. I thought Martin Odegaard was excellent, especially in the first half. I thought Odegaard pulled the strings really, really good. The one thing with Odegaard, he's got to start scoring some goals. Second half, he had a really good chance, went through 1-on-1. Keeper made a good save, to be fair, but you've got to be scoring that. And in the first half, he went through and he opted to pass. He tried to pass to Bukayo Saka when he really should have taken a shot on. Needs to take a little bit more responsibility in and around the final third for me, Odegaard. But that's the only negative I can say about him, because I thought he played really, really well, especially, like I said, in that first half. So he gets an 8 for me. Emile Smith-Rowe gets my man of the match, just because when everyone needed someone to step up, to score the goal, to calm the nerves, he did exactly that, and it was a fabulous goal as well. Back in the side, he's had to bide his time recently because of the form of Gabriel Martinelli. He's been on the bench, but back in the starting lineup today, and what a finish that was for him. So he's my man of the match. He gets an 8 as well. Lacazette, I think I'm probably going to give Lacazette a 6. He didn't, he worked hard. He didn't stop working. You can see that he was trying to bring everyone else up, but he just struggled a little bit in front of goal. His touch wasn't great. Had a goal ruled off for offside in the first half. I don't think it was him who was offside. I think it was Xhaka who passed the ball to him who was offside. I think that would have done him the world of good had that counted, just given him a little bit of confidence. After that, he snatched it a couple of efforts, and in the second half there was one really good opportunity when he could have played the ball into Saka, and it would have surely been 2-0. When he got the pass wrong, it was intercepted and eventually was substituted for Eddie Nketiah. So disappointing afternoon, I thought, for Lacazette, who just really needs a goal. I think he's got taken on this extra responsibility since Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's gone. He knows that. You can tell that he's playing like that, with that extra responsibility, but he just needs to step up and score a goal and really help the team out, take the burden off some of these younger players. He didn't quite do that today. So they're my player ratings. There were a few substitutions. Pepe came on. I thought he looked bright when he came on, and Nketiah came on late on, but I'm not really going to give either of those guys a mark, just because the game was pretty much done and dusted by the time they came on. So those are my player ratings. Emile Smith-Rowe gets my Arsenal man of the match. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Appreciate your time as always. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Let's hope Leeds can do Arsenal a favour against Manchester United on Sunday, but for now it's been a very, very good afternoon at the Emirates. Finished Arsenal 2, Brentford 1.